started getting me into logging them. And my mom and dad are the grand folks, and they've got over 25,000 fines.
Jeez.
But they're retarded, okay? But anyway, you've got a different, you've got on the cash page, and I'll show you, you've got a different size chart, okay?
Here you go. It's
Um,
behind you.
Okay,
Is it on here?
you should have
I don't see it. This is probably an old one.
okay, yeah.
Let me see if I can actually go to Geocache. Let me get out of this. Keep talking and I'll try to find it.
Okay, you'll have a, what they call, some people, okay, you'll have a what they call a micro. A micro is anything from a 35 millimeter film canister. This might be considered a micro, on down, okay? So this is a micro. And the cash page will tell you that, okay? Anything from this size on down, okay? This is what we call a nano, okay? It's got a little piece of paper in there. When you find it, you would sign the logbook in it. Okay, no matter how big or small the cache is, we always put a piece of paper in there so you can sign your fake name or your pseudonym. Okay, my real name is Mike McCaffrey, but I go by Kentucky Trio because I'm originally from Cincinnati, Ohio, but when we were down there, I was living in Kentucky, and I was in Cincinnati, Ohio with my mom and dad, and my mom and dad were like, you know, it's you, your wife, and your daughter. Why don't you guys come up with a name? So my mom said, you know, you're from Kentucky, there's a trio of you, so why don't you name yourself Kentucky Trio? And then my daughter went off on her own. She's Cat Angel now. And my wife went out on her own. She's Wild Cat Angel because she likes the University of Kentucky Wildcats. And you know, like a doctor, you don't want to change your name after you've got all these fines and stuff. So I'm still Kentucky Trio, but I guess I should be Kentucky Uno. Okay, so that's what we call a micro. Okay, then you have a small. A small might be. This right here might be considered a small. This right here might be considered a small. Okay, we would consider I would consider this a small before I would this, because a small, you saw on that picture where there were some trinkets. Okay, you can leave stuff in here. Okay, our general rule is if you take something, please leave something of equal or greater value. Okay, like I was telling some others, okay, we ask that you don't leave money in there because people will follow you around and they'll get rich quick. Okay, we don't ask, okay, especially don't leave any kind of aspirin or drugs in here because again, this is supposed to be a family fun sport. And I wouldn't want a little child going up there and finding it first. Say, "Mommy, look at this! What I've got!" Open it up, and you know, open it up, and pills fall out, and there's candy. Okay, weapons of any kind, firecrackers, food. We have had mice carry things off. Okay, we've had rats carry things off, beavers, bear. I was telling them before everybody got here that there was a ammo can that was, I mean, it was flat. And what had happened was a bear, somebody had put food in it because we saw the food laying next to it. What the bear did was he grabbed it with his teeth or whatever, and he flung it up against the tree and everything like that to try to get the food out of it. And he succeeded because it flew open and the food was out. We we had wild animals get a hold of them, okay? So there's micros, there's smalls, okay? A regular would be like this size right here, okay? It's got, again, it'll have a logbook in it, okay? So you sign your pseudonym, and then you can, if there's trinkets in there, you can trade equal value or greater. We ask that you don't, for internet safety, okay, especially your two kids, we ask that you don't use any kind of your name. Like if her name's Jill, okay, I mean, you know, we don't want her to be Jill, Jill, and you know, any other part of her name, because we get into internet safety, okay? If there's a famous character, like if she likes, I mean, you know, don't get offended or whatever, but if he likes SpongeBob, okay, he can call himself SpongeBob something, okay? But that's just internet safety, okay? So this is regular, and regulars can be anywhere from this size all the way up to 5-gallon buckets, okay? We have, and occasionally you'll see somebody mark a large. Okay, a large is, I don't know if you've ever seen those ammo cans, but they sit about this high. Okay, that's a large. And don't think that a 5-gallon bucket is easy to find. I was in a state park, and I was looking for one for 45 minutes. The guy that hit it came by and said, "What are you looking for?" I said, "I'm looking for that geocache. It's supposed to be right here." He said, "Well, look down." I said, "Okay." I still don't see it. He said, "Shuffle your feet." And I shuffled my feet. Sure enough, I was standing on top of it. Okay?
One of these.
Yeah, anyone that you,
What about like taping one of those micros on the underside of like a picnic table or something?
that's fine. But the more traffic that you have, like, you know, there's going to be people that are going to come to that picnic table, and if you take one of these to the underside of it, more likely you're going to get some emails, or you're going to get some response, because everyone that you hide, you're going to get you become the owner of it, and you're going to get emails back, okay? And you're going to get a lot of people that are going to come by and say, "I can't find it, DNF it." Okay, and then after so long, you're going to get reviewers on your back, okay? Because what happens was people come down there, they sit at the picnic table, they're climbing around, they look underneath there, and they say, "Oh yeah, what's this?" And they get curious about it and open it up, and 9 times out of 10, they're going to read it and say, "Oh, it's just something stupid," and they're going to throw it away, or they're going to pitch it over the side or something like that.
Let me show you one that I found the other day in a guardrail. If I can, be sure I have it here real quick. There's one.
Probably mine, huh?
It was a magnet. Show me a magnet.
Yeah, magnetic key.
Guardrails are metal. They stick tight.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, on top of the cache page, it'll have a difficulty in terrain. Okay, the more stars, okay, the difficulty is 1 to a 5. Okay, a 1 being that you're going to be able to get out of your vehicle and it's going to be right there, and you're going to say, "Hey, here it is." A 5.
This is his over Jenny Wiley. Let me show you where it is. Don't go over there and steal it now. There it is up in the top, right hand side.
Oh, I got that one. But anyway, a 1 means you're going to be able to get out and get it. A 5 means that you can be there 10 minutes to an hour and a half, depending on how long you want to spend looking for it.
Those are the pencils you find there.
Yeah. Okay. Now that's the difficulty. And also the smaller, the higher the difficulty. Like if I hide this, something like this, it might be a 1.5 to a 2, okay? But if I hide something like this, it's probably going to be about a 3.5 to a 4, okay? Then also, your terrain, okay? Your terrain can be a 1 to a 5 also, okay, on the stars. They can be halves too, like 1.5, 2.5, okay? A 1, 1.5, maybe I'm gonna be able to get out of my vehicle and it's gonna be like within like 10 feet of my car. A 5 or a 4.5 to a 5 means that I'm gonna have to do something. I'm gonna have to hike 6 miles one way to get it and 6 miles back. Okay, I'm gonna be working for it. Now we do want handicapped individuals to be with some kind of physical limitation to be able to play this game. Okay, I've got friends in wheelchairs, and I don't like to exclude them. So if I put something out like this, okay, it's going to be, and I think it can be somewhere where somebody in a wheelchair can get it and sign it and play the game. Okay, I'm going to rate it at a 1-1. Okay, anything that was a 1-1 should be handicap accessible, but I will tell you that I've got some 1-1s that I don't think my friends could get to. Okay, it's basically the rating scales is subjective on your part. Okay, anything with a 5-5, you're going to need special equipment.
Let me show this one real quick. We went to Mexico last year. Before we went, I knew where I was going, and so I found this one. Here's the book that it was. It was literally on the bookshelf. It gave you enough clues to tell you it was in this library. But this is a blank book, and I can't remember this. I think it says, does anybody know Spanish? It's travels, I think. I can't remember the exact word. But it was in this library, and there's the librarian. When they saw us coming in with that GPS, they all started laughing. They all knew what we were there for.
They know exactly what
It was right inside this library, and they all knew what we were there for, and they just laughed. Oops. Geocaching. Okay, you want me to pull up one?
Yeah.
We need to.
And then a 5-5 means that you're going to need some special equipment, like a boat. There was a 5-5 at Laurel Lake that you had to be a trained open water scuba diver. There's one right now that's the 5-5 in Somerset where you have to be a trained rope. You have to vertically drop down into a vertical cave.
They will tell you this ahead of time.
Yes, and then you have to be able to freehand your way back up. Okay, because sometimes when you rock climb, you can put your feet on these rocks and sort of help you get you up. But this one, there's no way. You've got to use a special pulley to pull yourself up. So you're free falling and you're free climbing up. Okay. Now.
Do you know that one? I'm sure he does.
Yeah, that's mine.
Is that yours?
Yeah, but actually I did that one, but.
Okay, it's a 2-4, 3.5.
Yeah, this one is, okay, the difficulty on it is a 2, and it's a 3.5 terrain because it's on a trail and you have to hike back this trail. I would rather see one overrated than underrated because if I go to get it and it's underrated, I'm going to let you know about it. This one here is on the Perry County Park grounds, and I've got permission from the judge executive of Perry County to hide one on any ground of Perry County. And this one is kid friendly because what you do is you can either print off a passport, and each one of them has a stamp and has clues about animals and things like that. It's one of the Pathfinders for Kids put 8 of them out, and they did it to try to attract families and kids and things like that. And it's got a little stamp in there, and you stamp the passport. You don't get anything for it except for,
Just remember, for me, you got a free book. There is additional hints, decrypted, you use this decrypted code to translate it out, and there's some people that will never decrypt those things out, they'll never look at them. It's either go by with what you got or what, under a small rock ledge.
Yeah.
Well,
see, sometimes those hints will help you.
Yes.
Especially the higher terrain they are and the higher difficulty they are. Sometimes if you decrypt it, if you just click on it, it'll decrypt it, and it'll show you. Okay, then we ask that you go back and get on the internet and put some things about it. Okay, because as a cache owner, I don't know, especially if you cannot find it. Okay, if you cannot find it, I ask that you go back in there and there'll be a drop-down box and it's did not find it. But I ask that you let me know that you did not find it, or sometimes you'll go and we ask that all the containers that you hide are waterproof, but sometimes like if this sits out a couple of years, it's going to start cracking, water's going to get into it, and then the logbook is going to be soaked. Okay, if it is, please let me know. I mean, because I want this game to be friendly and fun for anybody that plays this, and if it's soaking wet and you can't sign it, people are going to get discouraged, and finally they're going to say, this one's trash, I don't go after this one.
Can I ask you, it says small there, do you know what that size means? It says small, but on the table, can you describe what it might be?
That one should be small. That one should be a lock and lock. That one should be about the size of this right here.
that'd be a large.
I'd say it'd probably be a regular, yeah.
Regular.
Yeah.
Large, you said it was 5 gallons.
Yeah. I don't know, I have to go, the person
Go
who's got
Small.
that. There's one called Go Small.
Oh, look at that
Oh,
description.
let's descript that.
Let's descript that
Yeah.
thing. This
This
cache
thing
is a
is
foot away from your vehicle. Is that yours?
Literally,
Is that yours?
yeah. Because what it is that's Go Small, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, because what it is it's a, at Halloween time, you can go to the Dollar Tree and buy them plastic feet. That's what it is, and it's got a container shoved up inside it, okay? And that's why the thing says this cache is a foot away from your vehicle, literally.
Yes, go ahead.
I've got a question outside of geocaching. I didn't know what you wanted to do. I
Sure,
know
go
what you're
ahead.
talking about.
Yeah, go.
Okay, for me, the biggest thing is not only geocaching, but also, like, if I wanted to mark one of my trails,
Yes.
do I do so by marking 2 waypoints, like at the trailhead to the end of the trail? Like, do I just go in and I mark at the trailhead, and then, once I do that, if I want to transfer that to a map, how difficult is that?
Well, you have to have a mapping program. In most cases, it's better to get a mapping program, which again is $100. But then you should be able to jam 2 wires between your computer and your GPS unit and directly download that information.
And also, if I'm wanting to take one of your trails, okay, and there's caches on your trails, I can go into geocaching.com and I can add a waypoint, okay, and you can call the waypoint trailhead, okay, and that, like, trailhead for trail,
River Road.
Ranger, I know that there was the one trail in Jenny Wiley that's next to the cabins, that there was a ranger there a long time ago. He used to jog the trail. It was like 6 miles in.
Jenny Wiley Trail.
Yeah. And then you go up the hill, go down into like a little cave, and there was an ammo box sitting in the cave, and he, I mean, this ranger, he must be a good brute, because he hiked this thing every morning, in and out. Sometimes he said he did it 2 or 3 times.
That was you.
So,
Yeah, that was me.
yeah.
Yeah, mark both ends to help people find the location of the ends. But that to do the trails, I would talk to Frankfurt. I would think that they would have some kind of system already set up.
They do,
for
we
Okay.
actually have a big GPS unit,
Okay.
but we're looking to do some stuff at the park, you know,
Okay.
for ourselves.
What I would do is talk to some local people there that are into mapping, and I think they may be able to and willing to help you. We could go on here forever, I realize that, but we do have to come to an end at some time. What I would suggest is probably none of you here are registered geocachers. Are you?